Stars and Stripes, the podcast, at gmail.com for all inquiries.
Damn rich, peanut butter guts in a Lamborghini wall. You must have white bread. Let's make a
Today in
sandwich.
studio,
I ain't
we
never
have
seen it like
NB.
you got. Nobody got that kind of money.
How are you,
Dots.
man?
So if you take me up and show me the balcony looking over the Hollywood Valley, I'll make your balloon.
What's going on, man? We're out here.
Like me
You can kill the yellow wolf intro.
I know you got an elevator in your house, but with me, you appreciate the steps. Act like you don't
So, the two original hosts of Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, bro.
Staying a little anonymous.
Without
out
you,
here.
none of this would be possible. I've had a lot of good feedback from these podcasts.
Yeah, without a
I've
doubt.
met some interesting people through, friends. Say, like, I have someone on the podcast, and then their friend will, like, contact me and say, like, you had a really interesting conversation. I really enjoyed it, and I appreciate all the support and everything. And without you, none of this is possible.
Thanks, man. No, you know what? We got our motivation from Joe Rogan. I mean,
Super positive.
you
guy.
put me on to him, his podcast, and I, right away I got into it, and now he's doing 3-hour podcast a shot.
Yeah, 3-4
I used to
hours. He
watch,
gets
what,
like
3 in a row on Sundays. After
millions
bed.
of views every episode.
We watch 3 in a row on Sundays after a crazy night out.
He's
9
talking
hours.
to scientists now, and I love learning about stuff, and
Oh yeah, man.
you just learn so much from that podcast.
Did you see the Graham Hancock one where
Yes.
there was a beef between him and another archaeologist, I believe.
I'm actually super into ancient alien theories and stuff like that. Not the alien theory, like just ancient. I shouldn't say ancient aliens, because that kind of disregards all the studies that have been done in Egypt. Like, my dream job one day would be to be an Egyptologist. It's so
Really?
fascinating to me. I just know that they had technologies that are undocumented. The way that they built the pyramids, these days, they can't even replicate with the technology that we have. It's estimated that they can't replicate it, and if they could, it would take years. And they're saying they did it without any tools. Like, I've worked in 2 different machine shops, and I've talked to high-grade machinists. Like, they're doing defense for the military. These are the machinists. I've spoken to them.
Christian Bale. Shout out to a good movie, but
I've spoken to machinists that
It's on
say
Netflix.
the rocks that you find in Egypt, the way they're cut, they weigh like tons, like 2-3 tons. Even modern day machinery would have trouble cutting these, and they cut them in like perfect angles. So like 2 rocks, they're called megaliths. They weigh tons, and they're both cut together perfectly, so they sit perfect. And like even modern day machinists wouldn't be able to do it, and they're doing this in like, it's estimated like 3000 BC.
Yeah.
But the latest studies say that society actually goes back to 12,000 BC. But no scientist who's like scholarly wants to admit that, because they don't want to go back and have to change all the textbooks.
Well, you know what interests me too? I mean, that's really interesting, but you ever look at any of the documentaries or information about aliens on the moon?
Aliens
I'm
on
a
the
big
moon.
believer.
I remember back in the day showed me,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of one of those outrageous ones that I dismissed.
Whoa,
But if you have if you want to tell me
whoa.
some facts. First bottle smashed on Stars and Stripes. That's American as fuck. Me and Prophet, the rap star, we used to smash Jack Daniels bottles all the time. So anyway, aliens on the moon.
Well, actually, it's a crazy concept because they've actually they've looked at images of the moon. They've looked at images of the moon that NASA has apparently sent us to be able to say this is what this crater looks like and whatnot. They've proven that those images have been photoshopped. Those images have been tampered with. Now, a tampered image, they're actually photoshopping buildings that are skyscrapers, taller than Manhattan skyscrapers, possibly built, on the moon by aliens.
Alright, well, I'll say this is like, that one I feel like is kind of outrageous, but I do not believe we landed on the moon when they said we landed on the moon. We were in a direct race. It's called the space race.
Yeah.
You can look this stuff up online. And we wanted to be, many nations wanted to be like, oh, we were the first people on the moon because that means our technology in our country's the best. And America always wants to be the best at everything. So we had to win the space race.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think it got down to they realized where, like, okay, we'll be able to get to the moon in 5 years. That's the rate our technology's advancing at. But we could just fake this and win the space race 5 years earlier.
Yeah. Oh, they
So-
fucked up. They left if you look, there was styrofoam cups. It was like the side of the street.
Yeah, no, there's a
and
picture.
the flag was going. They fucked up.
The wind, yeah. The wind, there shouldn't be wind on the moon. I know that's debunked and supposedly debunked, but I still, to this day, believe that everything they teach you in physics class is that the flag should not have been moving. And if you look close, there's a picture of a rock, and there's like a C carved into it, like it's a Hollywood prop. Like all the props in Hollywood, like, you know, they're like, okay, when they draw out the pictures of the stage, they're like, all right, we'll put rock A here, rock B here, rock C there, and the Photoshopper fucking got the C in the picture.
Forget that. I think the advanced video that they actually captured, they had Lance Armstrong smoking a cigarette. with his fucking
That degenerate
the helmet
bastard.
Off. The helmet off.
Lance Armstrong.
Smoking a cigarette.
Isn't that the asshole who was cheating in those bike races?
That's right.
Big steroid user.
That was the bomb. No, but all jokes aside, no, that is serious how they did find the C on that.
Yeah, no, I believe the moon landing was fake. Obviously now we could go to the moon. I mean, I've also heard crazy stories about astronomy where, you know, the Earth revolves around the sun, and there's a chance that there's a planet that's always directly on the other side of the sun, so we're just always rotating with it, and we can't actually see that there's another planet that close.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, because if you think about it, they don't have the technology yet to send something out and have it fly all the way around the sun. Because Earth's out here, it have to come all the way into the sun and then fly around. As soon as you get close enough to the sun, everything burns up. So then we don't have the technology to send something around to the other side of the sun.
That's true. Oh,
So, I mean, that also
crazy
gets
to
into
look
the whole
at.
thing. Yeah, the easy way for people to look at that theory is like, oh, there's another Earth on the other side of the sun where everything that's happening here is happening there.
Do that in Armageddon? I think that's the first time they tried it, right? Armageddon 2.
No, I think that was Independence Day.
Independence Day. They tried.
Speaking about Independence Day, I used to love that movie when I was a child. You had a pretty funny story to tell me about your childhood, right?
Yeah, no. It's amazing how like you really, you know, you recollect, you know, certain memories over others and how it makes, you know, a larger impact on your life. I mean, do you want to say anything, you know, that you remember as a child that impacted you?
I used to watch the Michael Jackson Thriller VHS over and over. That's the only thing I watched for like, I don't know what age I was. I would have to look it up when it came out, but for
that's
3
right,
years straight.
That's right. They thought you had a
watched
they thought you
Thriller.
had a little twitch or a little, you know, a little.
I feel like that, but like that set the bar for me so high musically that where like I can't really mess with stuff that isn't good music because I grew up like nothing's better than Michael Jackson. It sucks
really.
people you know, his legacy got tainted with some bullshit at the end.
That was bullshit, but yeah, no, I remember
That was really
you were
sad to me.
You were telling me about that era, like they used to throw, you know, you were throwing your arms up like crazy. They brought you to the doctor. Turns out you were just doing the Thriller dance. That's right. That was when you were like 8, right?
Yeah. From ages 5 to 8.
Psychologists couldn't catch on to this. Musically gifted.
Sonically. It's all about sonically. The dance, I mean, Chris Brown probably watched it more times than I did, so.
Yeah, oh, without a doubt. Then he came out with Run It. But, yeah, man. So what's going on with the latest microscope adventures?
I design telescope lenses and stuff, and it's super interesting. And I'm trying to learn as much as I can about it, and it's just super interesting because when you look at the universe, you start to realize our telescopes can't see far at all in the grand scheme of things. So, say even if we could look to the end of the last planet, I think it was Pluto. I heard it's not a planet anymore. I'm in the industry. I don't even know if it's a planet or not. But anyway, so if our telescopes could barely look that far. So there's no way anybody's really looked at other galaxies.
Mm-hmm.
And that starts
now
to bring
your
up...
cousin that owns the business, he has a huge microscope.
Yes.
In his house. Do you want
Yes.
to talk about that?
His roof slides off, and the telescope pops up, and it's all located by GPS. He told me this at a
The solar
family
company
party.
was pissed.
He's big into solar energy also. There's actually someone that works at the company, and good friend of mine, he's big into off the grid.
CC.
He's
him CC.
CC. Yeah, no names on this podcast from now on. The DEA called me. It's a bunch of bullshit. Everything's fine to all my faithful viewers. But, okay, so this guy's big into off the
Except
grid.
Vincent D'Alessio. He's a fraud.
You want to say his new address? Okay,
Myrtle Beach.
Okay, so this guy's big into off the grid. So that means he knows how to generate power without ever having to pay for it. And he explained to me how he does this. He builds generators using diesel power. And he takes it even a step further, though. He made his own hot water heater. So basically, this guy can live without paying for any energy and no heating. Like, you don't have to burn any fossil fuels.
Wow.
I actually just watched a great documentary called Before the Flood. It's Leonardo DiCaprio directed and narrated the whole thing. Definitely check it out. It's all about how the climate change, people debate it, but it's definitely a real thing.
It sounds like Wolf of Wall Street without the blondes.
It's basically DiCaprio, Wolf of Wall Street, but it's when the bender gets dark and the depression sets in.
Okay.
So he's done with partying now. He's like, shit, the Earth's getting 4 degrees warmer every year. We'll die.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, no, definitely. Where can the viewers find that?
It was for free on YouTube, but now they pulled it down. So a friend of mine uses BitTorrent, and I watched it at his house.
CC.
I would never download something on BitTorrent. So that's highly illegal.
CC has BitTorrent.
So Before the Flood, it's a great documentary.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about climate change. How do you feel about climate change?
I believe in it 100%.
Okay, that's good.
Die-hard Democrat here. But,
Supposedly Trump doesn't believe in it.
Oh, I know.
I have some interesting things to actually tell you about the Trump, why he won. A lot of people are like, I can't believe he won. He actually uses all public speaking strategies to win. He's basically a visual speaker. So visual speakers are people that could talk. Like when he describes ISIS, he says, he doesn't just call them terrorists like every other presidential candidate does. He says, these people are people that would put you in a box and chop your head off. Mm-hmm. So now you get that visual in your head. And now when he's telling people like, oh, I'm going to build a wall, that's also a visual in your head. It's not even the physical concept of the wall. It's just that people see in their head like, oh, we're America, and now we're going to have a wall and like isolate us. Like, because, the American people always feel like, oh, we're the best at everything. Like, so the physical image of the wall. Another strategy that Trump was using was he connects a negative word to your name. Mm-hmm. So first it was like Slow Ted. Like Ted Bush was running against him in the Republican convention. Mm-hmm. So he attached slow to his name. So now are you going to vote for somebody when you look down and you see Slow Ted or whatever? that might not even be the right pronoun, but adjective. that might not be the right adjective. I don't even know, but slow type. But he definitely did with Crooked Hillary. Like that just, it's like Crooked Hillary, and like, you know, it's syllables. It's kind of,
He did some to accent Todd Kaminsky.
his strategies are crazy.
He came in when he did the he spoke in Emporium in Patchogue.
Mm-hmm.
When he came into Emporium Patchogue that exact week, they came up with the idea. There was a close race between New York State Senator Todd Kaminsky and McGrath, Republican McGrath, in Nassau County.
Oh,
he comes in that week. He gives him. He must have talked to a few Republicans in the area because he gave him the nickname
Taxing Todd
Kaminsky. He actually brought
that stuff
in.
works, man.
And he was on Long Island when that name came out, so it does make sense.
Businessmen use all those strategies. I'm talking not like average businessmen. I'm talking like very top of the line. When you get to a Donald Trump level, they're using these very advanced strategies. A lot of people would say, "Oh, you're giving him too much credit."
Yeah.
But too much credit. This is the biggest. The presidential race is like the highest form of competition that you could encounter in this country. Literally every citizen decides between you or someone you're versing in public debates. Like, that is like the highest form of competition. And businessmen, they do great in competition. That's like poker players. I've played a lot of poker. Not me. My buddy has played a lot of poker. He's in trouble with the IRS. So, my buddy that plays a lot of poker, he plays against these business owners.
That reminds me of my friend Whistleblower Kenny.
Whistleblower Kenny.
Yeah.
Great guy.
He's a good guy. But he's crazy when it comes to politics.
He likes to expose the government.
Well, he went all the way to Morocco himself, and he got arrested out there. He spent 8 months in jail in Morocco. He couldn't even get out of it. Guess what he did?
What'd he do?
He chased a pig around, drunk. I swear to you, Whistleblower Kenny chased the pig around drunk, got arrested. He's still locked up there. They're actually thinking of doing a locked up
abroad.
Yeah,
Whistleblower Kenny edition.
He's fine right now. I ride him, but
great guy. He put me onto the FEMA camps.
Did he?
Yeah, he wrote me.
Oh, did he? Yeah. He writes. You know what? He writes me regularly, but like. The thing is, like, he's so stuck in the mindset of being, like, you know...
A whistleblower.
He's a whistleblower, yeah. That's beside the point. He chased the pig. That's how he got arrested, but you don't want to know how he got the whistle. I can't even tell that on the air. How he got
you don't want to blow the whistle?
No. But no, they're actually doing a locked up abroad where he's in jail right now. It's amazing.
Damn, that's crazy. Maybe he could shout out the podcast, got us some more viewers.
Well, he could barely get a parcel.
We are at 500 viewers. I know some people are like, oh, there's only 5 people watching on Facebook. But, like, most of my viewers aren't sitting home on a Friday. They're out making bad decisions. And then they watch it. Then they watch it the next morning.
He got arrested on a Friday, actually. Friday night.
You know, weekends, people go crazy on weekends.
It's crazy.
Man.
People in Morocco, they go hard on Sunday nights. I don't know
why is that.
I don't know.
Oh, we have a buddy that goes wild on Sundays.
AC.
I was thinking more about RM. A few shout outs to get out of the way, so that's good. Alright, so there was one crazy concept that you brought up when we went out to dinner at Kumo. Shout out to Kumo and Bayshore. They should be sponsoring this.
Yeah,
they treat us like family over there. Yeah. But anyway, so you were asking me like, I'm into a lot of philosophy stuff. Like, people are asking me if I have a philosophy degree and stuff after listening to some of my podcasts. And like, I don't, because I went to Farmingdale and I was a math major. I got to Calc 3 and realized I wanted to switch my major, and they just really didn't have a philosophy program, which is upsetting. But
they didn't have a philosophy program?
Not really. So I'm well versed in some philosophy or whatever, but the newest concept is, well, not the newest concept, new for me, like what I'm looking to right now. Basically, the Fibonacci sequence. I don't know if any of my viewers have heard about this, but look it up. It's Fibonacci, Fibanachi, FIBONACCI. Type into Google, autocorrect it. Fibonacci sequence. So this is basically, in nature, things grow exponentially. Say like a flower blooms, or like a ram's horns spiral out.
The shell. You talking about the shell.
Seashells, the spiral on a seashell. All these things are expanding exponentially at the same exact rate, meaning the same exact ratios. Now, these are completely different objects. You have a flower, grows on the land. You have a shell, comes from the water. Ram's head, which is a living organism, animal. And they all growing at the same exact ratios. It's fascinating if you look into the Fibonacci sequence. For me, that kind of proves that there is a super intelligent creator of this universe.
Oh, I remember how this came up. I dropped the sushi roll on the ground and then we stepped on it and had a crazy pattern, and that's how we came up with this. That's how we got to this conversation. No, I'm kidding. It's interesting though. Continue. I'm sorry.
So basically, but see now, that's what, the Fibonacci sequence, that's well researched. So now people want to hear my views. So I've seen this on a greater scale. If you look and you notice traffic patterns, say a traffic pattern through the city of Philadelphia, I'm talking bird's eye view at nighttime. And so basically, you're just looking down and you see like the people's taillights pulsing through traffic in any major city. If you look at that at a bird's eye view, and then you look at blood cells at a bird's eye view, say the way blood flows into your lungs, it looks very similar as headlights. And like patterns like this just happen over and over in the universe. That's why things are said to be fractal. If you looked into fractal, is super hard to describe, but basically it's just like people see psychedelic videos where it's like, say you like start with a tree branch and then it goes into the branches look like the veins in someone's eye, and then you're in someone's eye, you see the iris, that looks like the earth itself. If you ever look really close to your iris, and like that's just called a fractal, and then that's where it comes into the universe could be truly infinite, where every single molecule, it just happens over and over again. So like basically this whole existence is made up of trillions and trillions of protons, neutrons, atoms, dark matter. This is where quantum physics comes into play and stuff like that. But basically every single one of those, every single atom that makes up this earth, every variation of that is also happening at this exact time. But also, if the universe is infinite, time is also infinite.
Wow. So
that means this moment's happening, but the past moments are also happening right now. You know what I'm saying? The human brain really can't fathom what infinite truly means. And now, there's people that do all these crazy psychedelics to try to understand what infinite means. I don't know, they might just like to do drugs,
Carpet muncher.
Rogan's a big supporter of psychedelics on his show.
Yeah, no.
I just know too many kids
Jocko
that have
Willink,
gone
shout
off
out
the
to
rails. I just know too many kids that have gone off the rails with that stuff. What are some of your favorite podcasts?
Jocko Willink, great podcast.
You watch that one religiously?
Yeah, you know what, I enjoy how he...
How do you spell it for my viewers so they can look it up?
JOCKO _ WILLICK. Look him up.
Isn't that guy an ex-Marine?
Ex-Navy SEAL. Ex-Navy SEAL. Interesting character.
I know you guys have tweeted back and forth a few times.
Yeah, we've talked. He's coming over for Thanksgiving. It's going to be great. He's making a honey-baked ham. But,
I love ham.
No, that's really interesting, man. The fact that, going back to how, you relate the iris to,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
universe itself.
I could show you some videos, man.
It's a deep concept. It's hard for the human brain to wrap around, but
What I've come to notice is you could infinitely expand. Say you're looking at the Earth, say you have a drone that's like, the best drone ever, and it could just keep shooting up from the exact point. So now, and, it has a super great telescope, so you could zoom in and you could still see Earth. Now, that could just theoretically go forever. If the universe is infinite, like, people don't know, but most scientists are saying it is infinite. There's also theories where it's like a balloon, like, and it expands and contracts. But then that's even crazier, because that means it's not infinite, it's expanding and contracting. What is going on outside of the balloon?
Oh yeah, it's impossible, really hard for us to wrap up.
That's why when telescopes get advanced enough where we can see outside of all the planets into other universes, that's when we'll truly know. And I believe it is possible, because technology just continues to expand exponentially like it's a life form, something crazy.
Well, did you hear what happened to my friend Wade Belletti? I'm sorry, WB.
What happened to him?
Well, sorry, go off a tangent, but he actually got a drone. He purchased a drone, and he was looking in Plum Island, the area between Long Island and Connecticut, where they say experiments are.
Yeah, they're experimenting on life forms over there.
He flew it over Plum Island.
No way.
I shit you not. It lost power. He doesn't know if it got
What?
shut down. It lost power going over the island. It crashed. He was unable.
He didn't get any of the video
he was
footage.
unable to retrieve the actual drone itself.
Alright, let's get deep on Plum Island. Something washed up on the shore of Montauk, right? Or is that something else?
Yes, they call it the Montauk Monster.
Does that have to do with Plum Island?
Yes.
I'm thinking about the right place.
Yeah. It's between. It's in the Long Island Sound. It's between Connecticut and Long Island, North Shore of Long Island. But
So basically, what washed up on the shore was it looked like a mix between like a pig and a human, right?
yeah.
Something crazy.
This is a completely different story than Whistleblower Kenny, though. We're not talking about that.
Shout out Whistleblower Kenny. But
this is about my buddy WB. But,
I mean, they're definitely doing genetic experiments. I mean, it was proven that the Nazis were doing that in Germany. So, and what I see, forms of science don't just disappear. Like if one group of humans are interested in something, another group of humans are also going to be interested in that thing, maybe to a lesser extent. But I believe at first scientists were trying to clone humans. Yeah. I heard a bunch of stories years ago as a child. You would sometimes hear crazy stories that they were trying to clone somebody, basic conspiracy type stuff. But I think scientists realize that why should we have to clone the actual body when we could just build robots? They have we could get them to have the same intelligence, and it will be much easier to just make the parts robotically through using machinery, all this advanced tooling.
Ex Machina shout.
Great movie.
Ex Machina.
Everyone should watch that movie. That's basically what I've been having conversations like this, forever, just bullshitting with people. And, we always talk about how robots will get so advanced that it'll just be like a human, like you're talking to the human. And that movie just made it so it got deep on, the emotions. Like, can you feel, as a human being, can you feel emotionally connected to a robot?
We should do a Fight Night Ex Machina version. Like, we watch the movie and we talk about
everybody that wants to watch the movie, it's spelled EX space MACHINA.
Yeah. F Movies. It's on F Movies. F.movies.2.
I think that's an illegal website. We've never been there. We know a buddy that watches it on there.
Yeah, Jay Benenson. Sorry, JB. I did it again. Like Britney. Like Britney, bitch. But, hey, Listen, Ex Machina is a great movie as well, but no, going back to artificial intelligence, it's an extremely, extremely
Basically,
topic.
something else I've been looking into recently: flow states. Have you ever heard of this?
You were talking about it at dinner after we spilt that sushi roll and they brought us the second plate. But go ahead.
I noticed some days you'll call me and you'll just say like, "Oh, I had a great day in the office. Like I was really on. I was super focused." And scientists are starting to.
Other days I call you and I'm falling asleep in a gutter. But no. Is that what you're getting at?
True
No.
story.
No, I'm joking.
So,
Go ahead.
so when you're really on, this could be applied to anything. Say like in business instance that you're talking about poker, which some people consider a business. It's like a personal business. But some days you're just playing amazing. It's basically when you're doing something optimally and your brain doesn't even really realize it. So, for instance, like marksmen that shoot arrows at an advanced level, like that shit's in the Olympics. So like, they're doing it at like high levels. Say all of a sudden they hit 10 shots in a row. So now they're in flow state. Basically they're in the zone. Like basketball players that I'm friends with that I've talked to who I'd love to have on the show eventually. I'd start reaching out to some of my connects. But he would tell me that when he's playing college basketball, he would just get so on and just be, sinking free throws. That's another thing. Consecutive shots, baseball, like consecutive really good pitches, bottom of the box, stuff like that. So when you get into these zones, scientists are starting to realize
You're performing optimally.
Your brain, they're starting to do research on the brain waves that your brain's giving off when you're in these states. And they're starting to notice that, like, your hearing actually changes frequencies. You start to hear at different frequencies. So, taking this to, like, the craziest level is, like, say one day...
it's not just earwax or anything?
One day they could take it to the level where you just put in headphones and you could listen to that brainwave, the wavelengths of the sounds that your brain would be hearing at optimal level. You could just listen to it in a headset and then start performing better mentally.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. I mean, once you get into that type of flow where I think it has more... Personally, the way I look at it, I think the environment has a lot to do with, hitting those levels. I mean, our senses pick up so much more than we actually realize, Like,
Yes.
Who knows what's going on around us that's making us hit this crazy optimal level we're performing at our top peak.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, visual stimulants, just the fact that, like, we're around positive people that are pushing us to do this. Who knows what's going on,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think, personally, I think the environment has a lot to do with it.
Right. No, I like what you said where you said, like, things are affecting us that we don't even know about it. You said it like that, so you're basically speaking on the subconscious. Right? So, subconscious.
Yeah, no, subconsciously, of course. You have no idea
That's...
I mean,
a lot of people
right
don't
now,
even
I'm
realize
sitting here
the
and
subconscious.
I'm taking in, it's amazing because I'm taking in all these, all these colors,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on around me, what you have in this room here. But speaking here, am I bringing it up? Yeah, I am.
Mm-hmm.
But am I really? Is it registering me right now that I'm looking at this? Like
The human body basically has 6 senses, and you're getting those at all times from all different body parts. You're receiving all this information, and it's hard. For some people, it's hard to process.
Do you
But
want
like
to talk about your sixth sense?
my 6th sense,
Yeah.
I wish I had one, dog.
You do. Talk,
Oh.
talk about this.
No, I can't talk about that on the air.
Come on,
So,
man.
I can't talk about it on the air, right?
All right.
So you're getting all these crazy, your receptors as a human being
Yeah.
are basically always overloaded. Now, certain things extend these receptors. Say, like, when you go skydiving. Like your receptors are through the roof, like stuff like that. They also say like after those crazy incidences, or like when you have a lot of adrenaline in your system, it makes it much easier to reach flow states after those experiences. But subconsciously, basically a human being, it's all of your experiences added together in the subconscious. Because I feel like human memories, when you look back, like certain things that you could remember, like a movie. I have a very photographic memory. I'm lucky. I remember a lot of stuff like a picture. But, you know, a lot of times memories get fuzzy over time. When you're telling a story, sometimes you slightly change the story. And then if it's a story you tell a lot, you start telling the changed version over time.
Folklore. And
that it morphs your mental picture. So, and like memory is just so fuzzy, but I
think that's how The Hobbit got written.
And people change their memories for the positive. But that's like just a human, it's a human tactic for survival, which you have to do. If you have any friends that are fake, negative, you just have to drop them from your life. Phony friends, just drop them, cut them out of your life.
Vincent D'Alessio, VD. God, I always do that. Always do that. Yeah, no, definitely, man. Like, just like bringing that into, you know, a lot of negative energy can affect the way, you know, affect what's going on around you and ultimately affect
You're shaking your Jimmy Choos in my picture right here.
I've been in this outfit since 6 a.m., bro.
You're ruining the frame.
I've been running around since 6 a.m. But, no, man, you know, they really, being in that lifestyle, you know, and having negative people around you will affect your ability to get into a flow state.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it boils down to. If you have negative energy around you, flow states is when you're performing optimally. You could ask anybody that does any type of job. Say just a great example is like our buddies that sell gold and silver. So, you know, like
Lucifer Luke.
I wouldn't invest a lot of money in gold and silver, but some people do. And the way they buy this gold and silver is, you know, a lot of people call them, and like if they've been investing in silver, say you've invested $5,000 in silver, just arbitrary number, and then, you know, one day someone calls you like, oh, I got this, you know, this silver dollar, it's only $30. You know, it's projected in 20 years it'll be worth $50.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I've thought about buying, you know,
it's possible. That's what
trace elements.
Salesmen like that. It's not a scam. There's salesmen that do scams, but silver is silver. Like they're not lying about the grade coin you get. It's really silver, you know. So it's not a scam. So like I know people that are in this industry, and they'll tell me like when they're performing optimally. They're saying the right thing to get the customer to buy. So it just proves that these flow states are real. You perform optimally. Now, if you say you have a girlfriend who's super negative and you're trying to like get to this flow state, you're trying to perform optimally, do your job optimally. I just use selling gold and silver as a job. This could go to any job. I'm sure people flipping burgers start to realize they're flipping more burgers an hour.
There's nothing wrong with that, though.
And now say any job, you want to perform optimally, but now you have someone texting you negative stuff. So now you're looking down at your phone, you got these negative thoughts in your head, you're not going to reach the flow state.
No, of course, because you're being distracted by a third-party element. I mean, that third-party element could be, you know, your crazy ex-wife, you know, just got your cat up for sale. Something like crazy like that.
That actually happened at my last company, verbatim.
But hey, is that going to affect the decisions that you make on an everyday basis? Of course.
Yes, 100%.
Of course it is. But what do you do? What do you do to counteract that to stay in your flow state?
You have to make sure you put positive people in your life.
Yeah, positive people, and you have a Corona extra once in a while, you know? Shout out to Uncle Frank.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. Hey, I hate to cut this short, but I gotta get to the Comedy Store.
Oh, you got a set tonight?
I'm on at 11:30, bro.
What time is it?
11.
How long have we been podcasting for?
Oh, I don't know.
We'll go a little longer. So you have, no, you told me you wanted me to ask you some deep questions, so.
Yeah, alright. There's always time for that.
We're talking flow states, positive people. You want to give any advice on how to surround yourself with positivity?
Advice on how to surround yourself with positivity. I mean, joke a lot, you know? Like, have a sense of humor. Go into life with a sense of humor. You know? Like, no matter what, you know? Everyone enjoys a good conversation. Everyone enjoys a good joke, you know? Just be able to push yourself, you know? Put yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit. See who's out there. You never know, like, you know, who you're gonna meet unless you put yourself out there. If you know, you can be any type of person, but, you know, be a positive person, be courteous, be respectful, and you never know who you're gonna meet. You know, and throw yourself out of the box. Call someone a cocksucker once in a while and see how they respond, you know?
I think we'll end it on that.
Hey, thank you. I was anonymous on this podcast, but follow me at NJ. That's it.
NB.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime.